Good evening, everyone. Have you ever struggled with a goal and could never quite achieve it? For those of you who don't know, I spend my career helping people become stronger and more fit, and oftentimes this is a goal for them for the very first time in their life. Often it's to become fit generally. Other times it's more specific. They have a specific goal within fitness that they want to achieve. And the story I'm going to share with you in a moment is about the latter, about someone who wanted to achieve something specific within fitness. And the reason I'm going to share this story, and the client's name of mine is Chris, the reason I'm going to share Chris's story is because I'm hoping it'll renew your confidence in a goal that has eluded you, but that you still think about. So about a year ago, Chris joined with me as a client and started a program with me. At about this time, let me backtrack. Chris is about 43 years old, he's tall, he's an IT consultant, and he has a quiet demeanor. And at about this time that he joined with me, I had recently taken a workshop on how to do strength bodyweight movements. Specifically, one of them was a pull-up. I'm sure you're all familiar with a pull-up. I mentioned this to Chris, told him that I'd taken this course and learned how to teach a pull-up. If you haven't been able to do one, to get to a place where you can do one. And when I mentioned this to him, he leaned into me and he said, "You know, Dan, I've never really been able to do the pull-up. Never." And you could feel the frustration in his voice with that. So I knew what he was getting at, and he explained a little further to me. He said, when he was 12 years old, they had I think it was called the Presidential Fitness Test, right? And one of them is you have to do a pull-up. Couldn't do it then. Tried again in his 20s, still couldn't do a pull-up. In his 30s, a decade later, he hired a personal trainer, worked with him, still could not do a pull-up. So I understood where he was going with this, and I thought about that, and I said to myself, well, I've never actually helped someone achieve this goal. Believe it or not, in all my career of helping people become stronger and more fit, I've never helped someone who couldn't do a pull-up be able to do a pull-up. So I was a little hesitant, a little trepidation about it, but I told him, I said, all right, Chris, let's get you on a program to finally do it for the first time in your life. So 2 months later, we had gone through all the process of building up his strength and his skill to be able to do a pull-up. And the day had come, we were going to test it out and see if it had worked. So he stepped up underneath the bar, and he did everything that I told him to do. Brought his feet together, locked his knees, tightened his stomach, pulled his shoulders down, reached up for the bar, pulled, got about 3/4 of the way, and dropped back down, couldn't do it. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? You've hit every benchmark up until this point to get you to be able to do a pull-up. I think you're a little nervous. I think if you just take a moment, breathe, try it again, you can do it. So he stepped underneath the bar again, put his feet together, locked his knees, tightened his stomach, pulled his shoulder down, grabbed the bar, pulled, and cleared. Jumped down, and a huge smile washed over his face. Bear in mind, he had not been able to do this for the past 30 years of his life, and he could finally do it. And I congratulated him, gave him a high five, was really proud of him. But about a week later, I asked him, because I thought about it, and I said, look, I know you're proud that you could do this physically. That's obvious. It's great to have the strength to do this now after 30 years of not. But did it have any meaning for you beyond that? Beyond just being able to physically do it? Did it have any connection with you? And he looked down and he said, well, you know, I thought I was too old to be able to do a pull-up. I thought that time had passed, and I realized that my age didn't limit me here, like I thought it would. And he was so thrilled. He said, you know, I could do now at 40 plus years old what I couldn't do when I was 20 or 30. And it sort of changed his perspective on what else he might be able to do in his life. And I thought that was a great lesson. And so the reason I share that is for you to consider whether there's some goal of yours, physical or not, that's eluded you, that you've not been able to achieve, but want to. Still kind of think about in the back of your mind from time to time. And my advice is to identify it and not give the weight to what you think is limiting you, as Chris did, or at least realize that the limits that he thought he had weren't really limiting him. Identify it, not credit all those things you think are holding you back, chase after it, and do it, even if it's just a pull. Thank you.